All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm DJ Impact. I got Matt Michaels here with me, and it's going to be us two. And I guess you can say that as summer comes around and holidays come around, you'll kind of see us disappear and reappear. But we're here. So we're happy to be here. And shout out to everyone who is watching us live. Make sure to throw your comments in. We'll try to get them in as we can. And we have a lot to talk about. A lot of wrestling went down this past week. And we're going to get right to it. So thanks again. Michaels, you good over there, man?
We're good.
All right. Let's do it right now. All right, man. So we had the four-way stop, which we normally do. We give some of the highlights for the week. I'll actually kick this one off. I really enjoyed Cody versus Theory. I really enjoyed that match. That's one of the ones. This is really showing how much of a star that Theory is really going to be. I mean, first off, the match with Seth that Cody had with Seth was definitely, I guess you can't say 4 stars unless it's in the Tokyo Dome, but those matches have been absolutely great. And I got to tell you, Theory's match wasn't too far off. I really wanted to see where that was going to go, but I can tell you we're probably going to see more of that. I didn't think there were going to be a clear winner for that. Theory's got to hold on to that title, but still, it was great to see. One, Michaels, I don't know, you probably wasn't a big fan of Ciampa and Mustafa Ali. I like Mustafa Ali. I think he's a lot interesting now than when he was running, what would they call? The Revolution? What group? I forget their names, but I like Mustafa. I mean, in terms of his
Retribution, that's what it was.
There you go. I knew it started with an R. But I enjoyed that match as well. And I also have that. Now, I don't think I was paid to say this, but I don't know why they were fighting, but just as a person who sit down and maybe have popcorn and look at a match, the Death Triangle, I guess that was on Rampage. That was I mean, like I said, I was probably paid. I saw a payment come in on a Cash App. So the Pac, Ray Phoenix and Penta had. Now listen, the Butcher and the Blade, I don't get them. I don't necessarily find them exciting, but Mark Quinn, in that mix was at least a little bit on the same level as what those in Death Triangle. So,
what?
Am I wrong on that? Come on.
Dude.
Come on.
Dude, are you kidding? Private Party?
I'm just saying, in terms of him doing all that high flying shit, because that's all they do anyway. He's right there. You don't really get that with the other two. Anyways, let me just fulfill my payment obligations. Now, in Madcap, I just want to throw that. I'm still liking that, but dude, Corbin puts a chair onto Madcap's neck and used that Andre the Giant trophy to smash it. It's crazy. But that was really, that really sold it. I mean, that really looked like that fucking hurt, and Madcap was going to be out for a few weeks. So, however that was done.
Well, and they're taking him off for a little bit of time. It looks.
Are
like.
they? Okay, that makes sense.
to sell that angle. So,
got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, that was my 4-way stop. I mean, I had other ones that are in the 2 suite. But what did you have?
Let's see. Austin Theory doing the promo on the old school platform. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Bring
that's
that
right.
back. Yeah. Also, Austin Theory's entrance with the selfie pics around him. That's fucking another brilliant production move. Judgment Day, they're totally on point.
They're on my 2 suite. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they're totally on point.
Yeah.
However, Jade needs to stop going from city to city, starting Edge chance sucks. So know that you're doing it. So,
Right.
and apparently, to be in Judgment Day, you have to shave the side of your head.
Ah.
Because if you look, that's Edge just did that. All three of them now have that same look.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting, especially if they bring someone new in who has never had a haircut like that.
Right.
Hats off to the real Bullet Club being on Raw. So glad to see the real Bullet Club, not the fake shit on some other programs. Let's see. The DNA lab, that Kevin Owens line to Chad Gable, and Gable gets all excited about the DNA lab.
Right.
Dude, we got to see Ken Owens.
I know.
That was amazing, man.
Yeah, and Ken Owens, I was just like, I really didn't. Did you? Okay, just be real though. When he said that he was gonna have his brother come out, did you really think he was gonna do that, or were you really confused? Like, who is his brother and why is he really coming out? Because I had that moment.
Oh no, I 100% knew that he was doing it.
Okay,
because it was a play on Elias and
right.
So yeah, no, he was doing 100%. What I didn't expect is for him to just break it and just have a meltdown in the middle because of Ezekiel's commitment.
Right.
It's not. They're gonna have to figure out some way at some point to have Ezekiel and Elias at the same time, and I don't know how the fuck they're gonna do that.
He mentioned that, right? He did say, "Hey, he said something to the point of I should get my brother to come up here so we can, when he mentioned, I was like, why haven't they kind of done that yet? But maybe they just want to keep running with it right now because it's really good shit.
Yeah, but it's also hard to do because he shaved his fucking beard off.
Ah, okay, right.
So they would really have to figure out how to make a good looking beard to then kind of do some kind of a green screen, putting them together.
Right.
Sonya getting fired from her position and now is a wrestler again. Thank you. And then she has to wrestle Bliss, who destroys her. That was just really nice to see. Asuka and Becky's their promo. You not acted like mommy, you act like baby. That's great.
That was.
Veer facing Frank Loman, who apparently has kids. Used the old Heath Slater line there.
Yeah.
Then we had Tiffany Stratton and Grayson shopping. I thought that was great. I would have loved to see more of that.
Yeah.
Saray changing Chase Hughes' clothes.
Yeah.
So they caught the tail end of that superhero.
Right.
And the best part of AEW was when Rat in the Kitchen started. Shout out to old friend Natasha Leggero.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go right into our Too Sweet. Oh, you know what? All right, cool. And yeah, exactly. Zach, you are right on that one. When I don't know how, going back to the Elias, I don't know, man. You think I guess like you say, they're gonna have to figure out the whole thing with the beard.
Yeah, so, I mean, Foley had no facial change.
Right.
This is the only thing here is they have to just figure out how to make a good looking beard. So
right. All right, man. You know what? I totally forgot that we need to have some things scrolling, despite the fact that I didn't get all of the matches. So why don't we scroll what's going to be happening during Memorial Day weekend out in Vegas? I know folks might want to check all that out. So let's do that. All right. Too Sweet. Yes, I had The Judgment Day. Yes, man. That I'm loving. I love everything about it. I when they just come from the darkness into the light with the smoke, I'm just sold.
Yeah.
Everything about the group right now, and I had to ask myself this question as I was watching Raw. And the question I had to ask is Raw. I mean, not Raw. Is Edge? Is he's been so on top of his game since he's been back from his neck injury. I'm trying to figure out as he's been better now than even when he was better back earlier in his career. I mean, there was a lot of amazing matches back then, and maybe we could get a little cloudy thinking about that. But just right now, the dude is just everything about him is just on fire. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think that has to do with 10 years of sitting on the sideline.
Yeah,
Not 7 years of sitting out because you love wrestling, but you apparently don't love wrestling enough to go back and get,
right,
not
right,
paid millions of dollars for it and wait for a contract to be handed to you that you can do anything with.
right.
The character's more elevated.
Yeah,
Listen, the character's better than it was when he came back.
that's right. And I'm
So
loving the idea that there could be an addition to the group. And that was kind of my whole idea when I was kind of speaking of Alpha Academy, that was my whole idea that I thought what they did um to Otis with changing his look and everything, if they would have found another wrestler where they could kind of do that same thing, they could have built up on Alpha Academy like the same way they're doing with Judgment Day, like you had mentioned, the cutting the side of the hair, little things like that. They only needed one or two more groups, and I think Alpha Academy could really been something great faction to put together, like
see,
the
but
way
that's what,
Judgment Day's coming
but it's a
together.
problem with, remember, if you want factions, go look at the other show
Yeah.
because that's
Oh,
all
yeah,
they do are
that's
fucking
right.
factions.
That's right. But I mean, it's
So
not like WWE has a lot, you know.
no, but that's what makes them work in the WWE.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it. If you have too many factions, you overexpose it. And the WWE, there's been a few misses, and that fucking the 3-man band shit was a huge miss.
Yeah.
Retribution was a huge fucking miss.
Right.
So when they fail, they get called on it way more. But in AEW, you can do it because everyone's a fucking faction.
Right.
So this
No
is one
doubt.
of the reasons it works. Now, the difference too is Alpha Academy, it's a tag team. They were going that way. You really didn't have a call for making it any. Hey, Chase U is the same way right now. They
Right.
only really have 2 members.
Right.
So, but with Edge, here's the brilliance of it. If you put one more person in there or so, then what you have is exactly what's needed, and that is Edge does not have to wrestle all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've come off that neck injury and you're 50, essentially, that's a good thing.
Right.
So,
Well, I guess
you
in
can
theory,
lead
like
it without having to wrestle.
like I guess when you had Evolution, Ric Flair didn't have to wrestle as much as like Orton or Triple H.
Right.
Something like
And
kind of, yeah.
yeah, no, that's I mean, and the thing is that the reason you brought Ric Flair in is because of the Four Horsemen, right?
Right.
So you
Yeah.
wanted to give that flavor. You wanted to identify with that. The same thing with Edge. Think about it. Is right now, Edge has been hearkening to the idea of the Brood. So what
Mm-hmm.
you're getting is a formation of something that is going to be amazing when Christian comes back.
I guess so. Not. But anyway, hey, let me continue here. Riddle was laying down on the mat here on Raw when Montez did his normal jump off the ring, what is it called? The
The frog splash.
frog splash, yes. And again, Riddle is laying down. In the time he gets up in the air, Riddle could quickly get up and perform the RKO. That was just amazing. Riddle was another one of those guys that's just on another level right now. And yeah, so that was definitely a too sweet moment. Boy, Gulak has just been taking the hit, man. I have to put the too sweet because that Gunther chop, I actually thought Gulak was done for the, which he probably was for the night, because that looked like that hurt, like bad. Okay. So that right there. And there was a match, Impact Wrestling, Kenny King and Chris Bay. Sign me up, man. That match right there was definitely on fire. Kenny King won that one. Could have went either way, but that match right there was another too sweet for me. Now, what you got, Mr. Michaels?
We could follow that up with Theory and Cody, like you said. Definitely shows so many signs of Theory being elevated. Toxic Attraction versus Chu and Roxanne. Thought you saw a good showing from Chu and Roxanne as a tag team, which they might have found, the right chemistry to bring those two together.
Right.
And then Cora Jade versus Natty. That was another good one.
Really, that was a good one. And what I got all types of notes. Oh, yeah. I just love the ending on that, to the point where Cora Jade just passed out. I mean, that was like a great ending, right? I mean, so she didn't tap, but she was done.
Yeah. And that most likely we're going to see then Natty having respect for her. And we'll see if Cora Jade elevates as a face, or if Natty might be kind of leaning towards the face then. So we'll see what happens with it, but it was a really nice showing. Same thing, Ronda versus Raquel. Raquel Rodriguez. Damn.
Yeah.
Great showing. And she looks like a huge next to Ronda, and Ronda's not a small woman.
Right. Yeah.
So that really played really nice. He didn't do anything to hurt her. It's perfect for going forward. And finally, you have that Owen Hart tournament going, and after Adam Cole won his match, they had a shot on Owen Hart's widow, Martha, and everything about AEW was summed up in one brief shot of Martha Hart just shrugging her shoulders. He was like, and it was, what?
It was a question of, why am I here again?
It was almost as if she had no fucking clue who those people were who were in the ring. And it's like, yeah, I guess that was fine that he won. So again, the thing is that it's not the wrestling, but it's the awkwardness of everything that's around the wrestling.
Sure.
That is, just makes the show. And I love all you people tuning in who are AEW fans. First of all, start lighting up the board. Say shit. All right. Because you ain't going to get a lot of AEW Mark love. You'll get truth love, but not Mark love. So if you have something to say it, because our AEW fan is leading a team meeting right now. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Let's jump right over into WTF. Speaking of AEW. Okay. Boy. Okay, so look. I get it. So I get you're in Long Island. So that means things have to change. But you're kind of pretending like you have a storyline that you care about. And not only that, you're trying to build everything up for Double or Nothing, okay? You're first off trying to sell out an arena. You're also trying to get major pay-per-views. You have to, everything should be leading up to all these big events. Why book a town If you for the rule should be going forward that if you want to do Long Island AEW, just do it after a major pay-per-view. That way you can make these changes that you make that don't make sense. Why is Warlow now have to get booed and MJF now going to get cheered? Why would you pick a town when you less than 2 weeks that you have something where it's supposed to be the total opposite? Same thing with CM Punk. I'm confused. What the fuck? I'm going. Wait, was it last week before that? Was it Adam Hangman? Wasn't he supposed to be like he's supposed to have turned heel? That was something like not last week, but the week before that. And then now he's coming off like I guess CM Punk this past week. Now he's like the heel, but all of this is because of a town. Why would you I don't know. I don't get
let's this is the easiest way to do it is because I got the same type of first of all, CM Punk in the Tavares jersey.
Yeah.
It would be great if he was the heel. But is he the heel? I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is that I guess what they're doing is just basing it off of the fact that in Long Island a couple weeks ago, and that's another problem in Long Island a couple weeks ago.
Right. Yeah.
When he faced MJF, he was the heel because I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So it's cheap heat, but he's supposed to be the face going into this. Although you're right. Was Hangman supposed to be kind of turning into the heel?
Right.
And by far, it's twice they've done this with Punk. It's stupid, but man, Hangman sucks. Page is awful. Yeah. He's fucking awful. That stare down that they had together, did you once feel that Hangman Page has a chance in hell of beating this guy who looks intense and looks like a fucking wrestler? The guy looked like he's some country singer who just got in the middle of the ring and decided to, like confront CM Punk. Yeah. So, the best thing, get the fucking belt off of the guy and make him go away for a while. Reinvent him. But it's not going to happen most likely. So
most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of mine there. Now, this one, you listen, I'm always good for a.
By the way, really quick, DJ. Yeah, I actually just noticed I did have a couple more things on that. Yeah. Hangman was on commentary for that, and this is why I thought he sucks as well. He brings limp dick energy to the fucking broadcast, man. It was so bad. It was like they were trying. You have 3 guys out there trying to pump this like energy into him, and he was just like, just across the board. And then when Punk and Heyman are in the ring, you said it right. Yeah. Selling exactly Zach Bonifar. Right. Page is a better chaser than champion, 100%, because you feel for him, and as a champ, he just doesn't. There's no presence.
Yeah.
When they're in the ring, they're trying to sell a pay-per-view, and JR says, Chicago, get ready. Pay-per-view world, get ready. But aren't they wrestling in Vegas, JR? Just saying.
That sounds like a JR-ism. Yeah.
Throw him back, JR.
Yeah, man.
And finally, Lex Luger, more charismatic wrestler than Hangman Page.
Yeah, I agree with that one. So one I threw in there, and it actually was one. Not listen. I'm always good for a cheap laugh and corny jokes and things. I get it. You actually mentioned this in your Too Sweet, and we're going back to the Saray when she came out. I love the whole thing with Saray. I like when that whole change is great. I love Adrian Chase come out. I like the blue sweater. I thought that was cool. But dude, come on. His student got pigtails. Okay. He's got Saray's glasses on. Yeah. Okay. All right. And he has a crop top on. Come on. If anything, just put him in a blue chase, and then that would have been fine. You didn't have to go overboard with that. What the fuck? Come on, man. That was going way over. Looking like a clown out there. No, not at all. The last one for me, though, for Impact Wrestling. So they had the Gauntlet for the Gold. And if you're not familiar with that, that's their version of like a Royal Rumble. The only difference is when the last two are in the ring, it becomes a match. So it has to be by pinfall or submission. But nevertheless, they had that. They have 4 guys in the ring. So nope, everybody else has come out. It's now the 4 guys that are left. The lights go out. Who reappears? Sami Callihan. So it's great because we haven't seen Sami in some time. Right. Yeah, great. And so he pops up, and what does he do? He attacks Moose, throws Moose out, and now, Moose is out of this competition, which I don't care either way because I didn't think Moose was going to win. The problem I have is, how does somebody appear who's not in a match? They get to toss you over, and that qualifies as being legal.
Okay. But if you're gonna call that out, we out Becky getting the Rumble 2 years ago. She wasn't entered in, and then she basically just took out Carmella and entered in and won.
I kind of heard a little bit of what you were saying. You was dipping in and out, and I know what you're talking about. But I would actually call it WTF on that one too. But all I'm saying is this: it's one thing for, it's one thing for you. They have some, maybe if you don't come out in one of the numbers, you're told to be a hidden something. I don't know. It just got to make sense though. But it just looks bad for someone to be eliminated who's not a part of the match. So I would say the same thing when that happened too. I think of that as a WTF. But that was mine for the week, man. Did you get all yours out, or you got a few more?
Just some things. Danhausen apparently was making AEW debut, according to the screen capture, and then the announcers had to 3-4 times saying in-ring debut. Hook staring down Tony Nese. Fuck every single one of you who thinks that AEW knows what, because you all, put onto the WWE how you guys wrong. Tony Nese was one of the guys that I think a lot of people felt was like, oh, he'll come over, be excellent. He's getting stared down to where he has to get out of the ring because he's afraid of Hook.
Right.
Like a fucking teenage student in your class. Hook. It's ridiculous. So Swerve is a face. Jungle Boy is a face. The face costs the face a match. No reason to rhyme. And then Christian and Luchasaurus are mad at Swerve, who was coming out for help, but they went out. It just makes no sense. What a clusterfuck with that. Hey, way to go, Darby Allin. Free TV ladder dive onto chairs, you idiot. He takes the worst of it, and yet Jeff is out of it. It's just dumb. Well,
I didn't understand why Jeff went right onto the steel chairs as well. And then, it had that corner. I almost thought he messed up his back after he got off, and that corner was right there, which I don't understand why he did that either. Yeah.
I don't know. Explain to me why they let Jeff Hardy beat Darby.
Right.
So you got me. And JR, way to go again. In talking about them near the end, they're not running on empty like Jackson Brown here. Hitting the key demographic of Jackson Brown lovers. Chicago, get ready for that pay-per-view. Rampage also. Audience pops. Snores. at the lights coming up to reveal House of Black showing up after Death Cab for Cutie finished their match. Why are the guns even a thing? If I drink bleach, will they go away? And so Scorpio and Ethan are heels, yet Sammy and Ty are also heels. He goes heel on fucking on Kazarian, and then they call out Sammy, who's a heel, in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just those two matches you talked about. There were 4 instances on this show of them taking their faces and making them heels, which made no fucking sense at all. So, again, solve the problems, or, you know, enjoy your pro wrestling company there, fans.
Absolutely. All right, man, let's get into the lookout. I am looking out after the Cameron Grimes match that he's going to have with Carmelo, and I guess the winner then gets Solo afterwards. So I'm actually looking to see that. I think Solo, man, it's good to see that the fans are behind him, and yes, you know, of course, he's got the connection, you know, with the Usos and all, which I'm sure has a lot to do, but they still standing behind him. My thing is, sometimes on the mic, he seems like he still could be a little nervous, and I could be wrong on that. I just tense a little nervousness, but he's confident in his matches. So, you know, there's always things you can always work on, but overall, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I talked about the gauntlet match in Impact Wrestling. So the winner of that 20-man happened to be Eric Young, and as he's going to be going against Josh Alexander, I'm looking forward to that. Eric back in the spotlight. He's been holding this whole thing with VBD down for some time, and you know, he's not going to win it, but he's going to be a strong competitor in this match. So I'm looking forward to that. They're unifying the tag team titles next week on SmackDown, or this week, I should say. I'm looking forward to that, and it's going to be on TV. How exciting! They're not going to wait for a pay-per-view. So
if they do it,
yeah, because we were promised that was going to happen before, but you know, at least it's something to look forward to. And I think the very last thing I put is coming up from Slammiversary on Impact Wrestling. They're doing a Queen of the Mountain match, and I guess that's the first time of them doing that. Tasha Steelz, who's now the Impact Women's champion, would be going against Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, and Mia Yim, which I don't know if y'all talked about last week. I wasn't on the show, but she did make her entrance in their pay-per-view that they had, or their online show that they had last Saturday. But Mia Yim's in it, so that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And she looked great. I hadn't seen her since she was on this show, and nice intro, and she looked like she's going to be like excellent for being talent for them. So I'm excited to see that. But what are you looking out for?
Roman Reigns, look out, because he got that fucking knee right in that face, man.
Yeah, he did.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful. So it's gonna be nice to see what. That's why I say I don't necessarily trust that the tag titles get unified on Friday, because there's too much.
And it's interesting to think that they really would give that away, you know, on a TV. I mean, they could. It's the first thing that came to my mind was what else was going to be on that maybe they were competing up against that they would do that, you know. But
yeah, but here's the thing, though. You're acting as if those belts mean anything. That's the problem. The problem is that you're not tuning in to see the unification. So now, if it was Roman going against fucking Brock to unify the title, then yeah. But it's tag titles, and WWE's tag team division has never been, you know, top of the line in the, you know, past 20, 30 years. So
yeah.
Sami Zayn look out, he'll be renamed Rusty by SummerSlam. And then
and you know, it's so crazy. Like Riddle literally, and maybe that's just the mind of a. Maybe you could tell me the mind of a 420 person to just look at it, because that looked like that was just something he just thought of right then and there, said it, and it just worked because it actually did look exactly like that. Like it didn't sound planned. It could have been planned, but it didn't sound like it.
Well, I mean, listen, he's got red hair. That's why he called him Rusty. I don't know if it was planned or not. Listen, I'm sure Riddle and Orton have a lot of leeway. I'm sure Sammy does too. So as long as they're not going over, I'm sure they allowed him. But I think that Rusty will then team with Butch, so they'll have a Rusty Butch.
Oh boy.
Here's a list for you: Cesaro, Big Show, Mojo Rawley, Matt Hardy, Braun Strowman. All of them won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So you got Jey Uso, Corbin, and Madcap. They won. They're still in the WWE. So I say be on the lookout for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to be renamed the Memorial Future Endeavors Battle Royal. And we'll be seeing that next WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure during that one we'll see someone.
Yeah, well, it won't be Jay, so now we know who the next two it could possibly be.
Well, no, I think the next winner is probably, at this point, let's say, I don't know, Asuka, right?
Mm-hmm.
She wins and then she's let go, and she's against guys, so go for it. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, that was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into our best in show. Well, for I enjoy SmackDown, man. That was the show for me. It was really hard because I really enjoy Raw too. I mean, it just to think that at one point you couldn't stand Raw, but Raw it's back, baby. And listen, let's be real. It was getting there, but having Cody has definitely helped elevate it. So whatever people may want to do and talk shit, dude, this guy, I look forward. I never cared for him when he came out on AEW. I didn't care for his theme. I didn't, but the repackaging of how they done with this makes it just more exciting. Having Cody on, so it was a tough one, man. But for me, SmackDown pulled it off.
I have to say Raw and NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all three programs were good this week. So
yeah.
And again, AEW fans are going, fuck you. Those fucking shows suck. AEW was incredible. Well, whoever the face is or the heel is, explain that, and then maybe I'll consider them being a wrestling show.
Yeah. It's true. Boy, sorry, Steve. You know what happens when you're not here, man. You can't. I took your $20 and I gave you the one match, but that's about all. And it took me. It was. I was just going to take the money and not even say that, but I felt I had to do what was needed. But yeah. That's our show. That's our wrestling count. We're about to get into 3 count next. Really, if you're listening live now, definitely tune in. We got really some great articles we're going to get into, and you kind of see them at the bottom of the scroll. If you're listening to us on the podcast, make sure you download Tuesday's episode of 3 count. I think you're going to really enjoy this. Yeah, I got a lot of things to say about all 3 of these, but definitely 2 of them and we're gonna have a lot of fun on that. So if you're watching us, hop back on when we get off, and if you download, thanks for downloading, and make sure you download Tuesday's 3 Count. All right. Until then, we will do some more wrestling talk next week, and take care.